All right, so we are going to create a new Photoshop document using the plus sign in the bottom left corner. And I want it to be, the unit of measure is good if it's in inches. 7 by 5 in the horizontal orientation is good. Let's just bring it down to 72 dpi. That's all we need for this particular project. The background can be transparent. I'm going to be adding a photo to that. So let's hit the bottom right corner. Let's say create. And now I have my beginning Photoshop document that we're going to create this 6-word story in. Okay, so I am going to add my photo by clicking on this graphic button on the left. I'm going to go to photos and I'm going to choose one of my photos that I have here ready for this project. I want to, it brings it in with the transform tool. I want to go ahead and enlarge it so it fills my space completely. I do not want to distort it by clicking on the top or the bottom. Please don't do that. You never want to distort photos. You only want to use the corners so that you're for sure that it's distorting or that it's proportionately adjusting. And then I'm going to click done at the top right corner. Okay, now I want to add some text to this photo. I can hide my layers palette up here. I'm going to go to my text tool on the left and I can just click inside of my document and now I'm going to start typing. I'm going to use all caps. It's just using a color that I had. That I had before for another thing. It's using the color. I can choose that here. Oops, I need to select it first for it to change that color. Okay, and then I want to go ahead and add to the size, and I have it edited. I'm going to go ahead and add to the size of that. I'm going to pop it in right behind there. Whoops, I've only selected that one letter, so now that was only affecting that, so I wanted to make sure I can get it in there for all of that. Okay. Now, one way that I like to speed things along is to copy layers. So you will notice that up here, my layers palette, I now have a photo layer and a text layer. So I can press and hold on that text layer and I can duplicate it, and I'm going to do it one more time and I'm going to duplicate it. So now I have 3 that look about like that. I'm going to pull those out of there. I'm on that second one and I should have 3 layers. They are going to each be on their own thing. They all say the same thing right now. This first one says loving others, but so do the others. But I want to edit the second one, and I want to say, let me look at my notes here. Begins with small moments. Okay, so I'm going to say begins using 2 fingers to navigate through these. And now I'm going to go to the third layer when I touched on those letters. Whoops. Done. I'm going to go to that third layer. And get my text going here. And I'm going to say small. Moments. Okay, and I'm going to move that over a little bit so it all fits. And I'm going to go up here and edit this. I'm going to hit return on that, and I'm going to, this is all happening in this text My leading is the amount of space between those, and I want to tighten that up here. And then that's going to kind of tuck down in here, hopefully. I was going to try to help pop it in behind there, but we'll see how this goes. All right. All right. So now I've got some text blocks. It looks like I've got extras. I'm going to go into my layer detail and see these top two were accidental creations I made. I can click and hold on that. Oh no, if I click on that and I go down to the three dots down here, I can delete that layer. Those were just accidental when I touched. I accidentally made those, no problem. Now I'm going to take away my details. Whoops, I did it again. Do that. Now I'm going to click here to take out my details. Okay. So I've got my text here. I want to show you how to make an adjustment layer to this background photo. We're going to click on this plus sign with the box around it, say adjustment layer, and I want to work with the color balance. I just want to see if I can get some new and interesting colors built into this photo, just to jazz it up a little bit. Just for the sake of being silly almost, just to kind of make it memorable. My blending options are not as thorough in the app, I don't believe, as they are in the desktop option, but I just want you to see that we are making adjustment layers, and it's an option in here as well. So I can hide that or I can show it, so that gives you an idea. I just made a new text layer. Isn't that exciting of me? I'm going to delete you. All right, so I wanted to hide my layer so that you can, I didn't know how to do that. There we go. So you can see what I've got now. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is create a layer mask so that I can hide some things in here and just make this a little more interesting. This is a technique we are using, kind of like a magazine cover. I'm going to go back to my layers palette so I can see what I've got going on again. And I want to create a mask. Well, first of all, what I want to do is I want to go back in and edit this. I'm still not pleased with my condition of my letters there. So I'm selecting those, and I want to mess with the I want that to come in behind so I can still see my letters, but also, okay, I'm going to pop that up in there. Okay, so we're just going to do a little technique on this. I'm going to say done. Now I'm going to add a layer mask, and that's this rectangle tool on the right side with a black dot in the center. And when I click that, it's going to put this white paper or white box next to that text layer. Then I want to make sure on the left I have my black paintbrush over here. Oops, I created a new layer. You're going to laugh at me. Surprise, surprise, I created another one. I'm going to go delete it. Okay, I'm on my mask again, and I want my black paint and my black paint brush. And my brush right now is set to be at about 50. I might give it just a little smaller. I get a little more detail. And then what I want to do is I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to make it appear like I'm hiding his head in it, or hiding the letters behind his head. So I'm going to go in and brush, and notice it is got quite a bit of a span away from my touch. Well, that was more than I wanted. I'm going to reduce the size of that brush, and I'm going to come back in and try that again. I just hit the undo key up there, and then I'm going to come over here and brush away the letters so that his hair is right there instead. Now, what if I mess that up? I can switch places with my brush, and I can go restore that by painting in white. So painting in black, hides, and now be sure I'm clicked on my white little paper next to my text. That's my layer mask. White restores and black hides. And it's important that you can see your mask is developing over here. Up there you can tell where I painted. That's the mask itself. See that? Okay. Let's click off of that. Let's make this smaller. Now it appears like he is in front of that. So I want you to try that technique. In this case, I didn't have a lot of frame to work with. And so I've got, this is the last of my text. But right now I have my 6-word story. I have used text. I have stylized with an adjustment layer. And in conclusion, I have added a layer mask to give the appearance of something hidden behind and then the ability to restore it again. So those are 3 things that I want you to work on with the 6-word story and to complete your own. Okay, that is it. Let me share that. I'm going to share that. I'm going to save it. I want to save it as a PSD file. And I'm going to save it to my files. No, I think I'm going to save it to Lightroom. And I'm going to close that, and then I'm also going to just click it. I want to just make sure that is saved correctly. I believe it's saving automatically. I'm also going to go up here. I want to rename that. Don't see where it's letting me do that. Okay. Not going to worry about renaming it. When I back out of here, I can rename it right here. I'm going to name it 6-word story. Mrs. B. And then I'm going to hit save. And that, I believe I can share that with on Canvas. Let me show you how to do that. I'm going to go to JPEG this time. I'm going to go to Canvas as my choice. And I may not have it. I know you would as a student. Then this is where you're going to bring up your assignment is submit 6-word story here. Okay. My class is different than yours. These are my other classes. But you're going to choose photo imaging and submit it to 6-word story. Okay, that is how you send me that photo.